Welcome viewers to my channel, Real Earth Rocks. I'm Chris. Now in this documentary I wanted to discuss a sacrilegious theory that perhaps the pyramids were sculpted from living organic structures. In botany appreciates the trees of a forest or of a creek bed are part of a greater living structure under the ground. So imagine the pyramid as the stump of an ancient giant tree, rather than, as we have been taught, a completely man-made structure, built from gigantic blocks of stone quarried from some distant place and transported through miles of bushland to the site of wherever the pyramid ends up. Now, apparently the skills and techniques and tools which were used to construct the pyramid are now totally lost, obscured in time, and ironically it seems the information was not recorded in their numerous hieroglyphs. The Egyptian pyramid builders, we are taught, were a unique race of humans achieving feats unlike any from time immemorial to the present day. And yet seemingly they left no recorded information detailing the creation of their greatest feat, the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now current teaching has that groups of slaves drag stones and miraculously place them in perfect formation, mirroring the stars above and the geocentric centre of the then known masses of Earth, which coincidentally now, thousands of years later, still known and measured by Google Earth as the exact centre of the known Earth. This was measured on a flat plane surface, of course. Now, my theory is that the pyramids were sculpted from organic matter, and in my research I've looked at the topography of pyramids, the location of pyramids worldwide, Egyptian pyramids, particularly Egyptian pharaohs and their timeline, Egyptian art, and I consider the question who built the pyramids and what was its purpose, and how long would it take to construct and at what cost in time, lives and money. Who financed the pyramids and why? Now, after reviewing many pictures of pyramids and reading the history available in books and online, I thought, now where the Egyptians would have left evidence of the building of their pyramids, except in their art. Now the Egyptians were great artisans and left us with much evidence of their skill as engravers, painters and sculptors. From their art we can assume they revered animals, symbolisms of God, the sun and the Anak. They depict family life, food preparation, and in their hieroglyphs, deciphered due to the discovery of the Rosetta Stone in 1799, it is understood to describe funerary rites and establish the mythology of the gods. The Rosetta Stone, being engraved in Greek and Egyptian characters, enabled the English interpretation of Egyptian hieroglyphs, as they are described by Egyptologists today. It is impossible for me, however, to determine authentic Egyptian art from the many forgeries, and so what the true Egyptians believed is unknown. In my research to date, it seems that the Egyptians did not leave any details in their hieroglyphs about the pyramids, the purpose of the pyramid, the design or creation of the stones of the pyramid. No details are available on how a pyramid was built or why a pyramid was built, neither in Egypt nor seemingly in any other area of the world. Now this seems odd, as the Egyptians specifically left quite detailed records of every other aspect of their life. Yet all research regarding the purpose and building of pyramids ends with little more than theories and opinions. Topographic maps reveal that the pyramid sites appear to be little more than quarries. We are told that they are quarry sites now because a flood came and covered the old structures with sand, which then had to be removed to reveal the original structure. There is some evidence which points to the possibility that the pyramids were quarry sites, and that the pyramid is the remnant of a mountain or of a great living organism. Now, always assuming that half of what we are taught is true, we are taught that the pyramids were tombs. However, no corpse has ever been found inside a pyramid. So if we assume that the pyramids were once living structures of ancient stone or a giant tree formation cut down, burned and encased in stone, then indeed the pyramids are tombs. Pyramids are purported to have healing qualities and are used as sound or power generators. There is some coincidence with the teaching of Nikola Tesla regarding free energy access through natural underground water systems, who claim that beneath great mounds, a tree is a free source of water, power, and energy. Now, it is stated in official documentation that the forests of Giza were stripped bare in the building of the pyramids. I propose that the creation of the pyramids, much like the statues of Easter Island, involved the stripping of the forests, and this destruction of the forests was and remains an effective method of controlling power to manipulate the populace. So theoretically, the pyramids as they appear today may only be a couple of 100 years old. This artist's impression from the 1500s reveal the Sphinx was little more than a statue engraved from a tree stump, similar to those big head statues found on Easter Island. And the pyramids appear to be engravings atop a tree stump. Now, I have not personally seen the pyramids of Giza with my own eyes, so this is a theory. Research reveals that inside the Great Pyramid resembles a hexagon silicon structure, and it is claimed it is filled with the ancient wood forests of Giza. The granite wall inside the king's chamber is said to be 80 tons. This is only a theory. It makes more sense if one appreciates that the structure was once a living organism, which was stripped, cut and burned. The granite was once alive. It has since been shaped, polished, and given the appearance of something foreign to the environment. But paint and makeup and Hollywood have taught us that things are often not what they appear. That the pyramid is a remnant of a once living thing. So my theory is that the pyramids were created from mounds or existing organic trees or creatures. Cut, burned, sculpted, coated, sanctified. Clearly used as a status symbol representing power and death, and perhaps used as power plants or even regeneration centres. Researching symbology in Egyptian art, I found that the Egyptians revered mostly the sun and the anak, the endless knot, and the breath of life, known as the key of life. A symbol similar to the anak appears in the Minoan and Mycenaean sites, and this is a combination of the sacred knot, a symbol of holiness, and the double-edged axe, which is also similar. In modern society, we can observe that mountains are easily cut into mines, and I have found that mountain mining remains very active today, and the example found here are very sadly being currently conducted in the Appalachian Mountains, and is called mountaintop removal mining. And the idea is that the top of the mountain is removed using explosives, and this removes the top 400 feet, and then the mining companies come in and mine the interior of the mountain. Now, there is no consideration whatsoever of the environmental impacts for the future to the lifestyle of the local residents or the wildlife. The mining companies take no responsibility for the regeneration of the site, and the government and councils generally allocate no funds, and so the areas throughout the world are not being regenerated after mining. As a general rule, mining sites are abandoned and disregarded. Now, today the financial rewards for the corporation and shareholders are the only consideration, and although environmental issues are discussed, they are never actually addressed. As a type of proof for the theory, this is the picture of the infamous Devil's Tower. And this is the one that has piqued people's interest, and there is no doubt that it does look exactly like a tree stump. Now, there have been some brilliant theories released in videos recently regarding this, and some theorise that basalt was once a type of crystal and is demonstrated to grow in a very similar pattern. Now, there is no actual proof that the Earth's mountains were formed by moving plates in the Earth's surface, as is taught in the current model. It is actually more logical to assume that the mountains once grew into the form, which is no longer recognised as being a living organism or being. But all pyramids appear to have been built upon or from a mountain, and if the mountains were once trees or living organisms, it would be presumably easier to sculpt the pyramid than to build it from the bottom up. It seems the tree killed, burned, mined, was then cut into a point and then encased in stones and bricks, and this is referred to as a tomb. Now, this is a very intriguing and interesting subject. Thank you very much for watching. I intend to continue my investigations into this subject. In conclusion, the standard model insists that Earth is a spinning oblate spheroid globe travelling at millions of miles through space each day. There is no observable, verifiable proof of this model. From the Earth appears to be a stationary plane expanse of land and is surrounded by flat oceans. There is no measurable curve. So there is good reason to question everything that is taught in mainstream science. Egyptologists are the most respected authority when it comes to theories regarding construction and the purpose of the pyramids. But as we know, history is written by the victor, and they rewrite the whole book, not just the last chapter. Is it possible that mountains were once part of a greater living organism, which may be described as a giant tree? Yes, it is possible. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation, and please join me next time.